Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Startups. On today's episode, I have with me Dishen and Yushini. They are expert business advisors helping startups to leverage and also learn how to build successful and sustainable businesses. We are really proud to be in a partnership with Dishen and Yushini because of the value already helping. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the wonderful power couple, Dishen and Yushini. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good, and you, Tolu?
It's really a pleasure having you on today's program. Just before we go too deep into our conversation for today, can you just give me a high-level overview of who you are, what you're doing, and what makes you up as a business consultant, and what has kind of led to you going down that route?
Thank you, Tolu, and thanks again for the opportunity to share our experiences in BET. So on my end, if I could start, I've been an entrepreneur from my early teens. I'd grown up in an entrepreneurial home and amongst very successful entrepreneurs in their own right. Also watching my dad, learning his lessons and successes at growing businesses and how to engage customers. I think that's the most important thing, right? After university, I was, employed at a Big Four auditing firm, where my career there spanned through, from fulfilling multiple roles across various functions. And, I was lucky enough to work across a number of industries and sectors as well. I've also owned various businesses and mentored and coached businesses in different industries over the years as well. And this is currently, what's led me to where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
And then, on my end, very similar to Dishen, I had the great exposure in a multinational organization where I literally cut my teeth in the corporate world. And it was there that I got to get to grips of the understanding and the workings of what a great collaborative world-class organization should look like. Mm-hmm. I was also lucky there to learn about, supporting small businesses, about how to teach them how to operate effectively and efficiently. And this is where my passion for small businesses actually developed. And as Dishen also mentioned, I've been a business mentor and a business owner for a number of years. And when I decided to leave my corporate life, it was for the obvious reason of pursuing my passion in SME development and support.
Don't get us wrong. It wasn't an easy journey, Tolu. The entrepreneurship journey can sometimes be a little lonely. And it requires certain characteristics to make this a successful one, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm finding that daily there's still so much to learn, and you just have to be open to it.
Amazing. I mean, from what I've heard you say is that your journey into entrepreneurship has actually been motivated by your professional journey as well, and some of the experiences that you've had working for big corporate firms, and also your relationship, Yushini, with entrepreneurs and SMEs in your own professional journey, and that's some of the things that has actually led you into the route of becoming a business consultant and also entrepreneurs. So from these experiences, what have you seen that has been a major pitfalls that entrepreneurs fall into?
So just to add on to that, we've been lucky enough to get exposure to businesses and entrepreneurs on a global scale. And what we find is something across the globe, some of the pitfalls that we've been noticing. So the first thing, is not being able to plan enough. Planning is such a critical role in the entrepreneurial journey. You're planning to start a business, you're planning in your business for day-to-day operations and in the moment, and you have to plan for your future of the business. And when it comes to planning, keeping those plans alive, you have to often look at those plans, make sure that you're adapting those plans to what's currently happening in the environment that you're operating in, making sure that the plans are relevant and not being kept in some drawer, because that's what we find. Some of these entrepreneurs have great ideas, but, the ideas were fit for a period of time and a period in time. Which brings me to the next point about the business environment that we're operating in. The economic environment is so dynamic, and if anything, COVID has taught us that you need to be able to adapt and to be agile, and keep your plans living. Also technology. You know, we're exposed to such a vast amount of information on a daily basis. One of the pitfalls that entrepreneurs face is not being able to sift through that information and to use what's relevant to their business. And that's something important, you know, because with technology being an enabler for your business, you learn how to operate more efficiently and more effectively. You know, you can use it to save time, you can use it to save money. It should not be seen as a disabler. You know, I mentioned something around being agile. If an entrepreneur cannot adapt to the changing circumstances and the environment that it's operating in, these businesses fall flat. You know, like I said, COVID was a good learning for us, you know, on how to pivot and how to be agile and to adapt to a new way of working and a new normal. And, you know, I think that entrepreneurs would have probably heard this over and over about learning to fail forward. And that's important, you know, being able to take a step back and recognizing that, you know, if things don't go according to your plan, you need to be able to sit there and look at what can be done differently in the future. Failure should be used as a learning opportunity to do something different and not as a stumbling block.
Amazing. I mean, I think it's a very good insight there, Yushini, because a lot of people have this perception that entrepreneurs they define entrepreneurship as taking risks or being being agile is very key, but not be too stuck into planning. But it's very important to know that as an entrepreneur, you actually have to plan, right? Because at the end of the day, it's easier for you to fail in a career than for you to fail as an entrepreneur. If you're failing as an entrepreneur, you don't really have a net per se to catch you. You don't really have you're the business owner and the buck stocks with yourself, you know. So what are the tips then would you recommend to a starter of how to build a business from scratch? What are the top tips that an entrepreneur would need to consider when building a business from scratch?
I think totally, you know, I mean, fantastic question, you know, from our experience is, you know, what assists and creates a sustainability and, you know, as you say, from scratch is that you identify a problem and you solve for the problem.
Yes.
You need to be relevant. I think that's the most important thing, you know. You need to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the consumer. When you understand why they should be using your product or service, this makes it so much easier to sell, right? You also need to be very clear on your value proposition and what actually differentiates you. You know, your communication and marketing efforts need to be clear. That customers know exactly what they or why they want to use you. You need to know your market. Your market includes your customers, your competitors, who are you likely to come up against, and the environment and the risks that are involved, which are really, really key to sustainability of business. And then again, you know, we cannot stress this enough. Network. You must build a network, and in your network, be clear about who you're engaging with, how you create a mutually beneficial relationship, and most importantly, deliver on your word. Everyone hates engaging with a person that is just a talker. You've got to be following through.
Amazing. So just to follow up on that, do you think COVID is expanding that conversation also, or changing the narrative of that conversation to an extent?
Yes, I do think, you know, and you know, as I mentioned, you know, earlier, the entrepreneurial journey, and especially with COVID now, is a lonely one, right? And not everyone will understand that the journey you're on. And that's why resilience is important now. You know, many people would be knocked down and wouldn't be able to get up again, you know, and this is why we say, you know, for us, resilience is how quickly you can actually recover from the setbacks that you face. And make no mistake, you will experience setbacks. You know, however, your perspective on these setbacks or learning opportunities, as we call them, will either help you craft a new path or make you question everything about your journey that you're on.
So it's all about failing quickly and the speediness of recovery, right? So that business continuity. If you fail, how quickly can you bounce back and things like that? What's your risk elasticity in that sense? That okay, so if you fall, how quickly can you quickly adjust the risk that you've identified, so that even before they become an issue, you already have a solution for them. So that's what I'm getting. So some of this, and this then leads into some of these obstacles that entrepreneurs face, both at entry and when they're actually running the business. What are the key obstacles that you've identified as entrepreneurs yourselves, and also networking with a whole lot of entrepreneurs, about 5,000 plus, like as mentioned before. What are the key obstacles that you've seen that entrepreneurs face, and how would you recommend them navigating through those obstacles?
So I think it's important to mention that, pre-COVID, there were some scary stats that were released. That 25% of startup businesses will fail in the first year. Mm-hmm. Post-COVID, that picture probably looks very, very different. And the obstacles pre-COVID and post-COVID are pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Now more than ever, you need to be able as a startup to differentiate your offerings. Mm-hmm. If you want to be staying in business, you can't be doing business that everybody else is doing. You need to be able to make sure that you're not suffering from the demand and supply implications, mm-hmm. that currently exists. Your business planning is so important, to have a sound business plan, to make sure that you have a good future focus. Because currently, what we're finding is that, especially for startups, some of the obstacles is that their business is relevant for now, but not necessarily in future. Which brings me back to the point that I was talking about earlier on, about making sure that you're staying agile and adapting to the environment that you're operating in.
Yes.
And there are some obstacles that entrepreneurs face in terms of a lack of capital, but more than that, it's also a lack of being able to raise their own funding, as well as an access to market. You don't always have access to market, and that makes it difficult for entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Thank you so much. I think that's really, really important, because some of the things that entrepreneurs always feel is a bigger obstacle for them is in terms of seed funding. But actually, when you actually reflect on it, you discover that that's not the first challenge. The first challenge is, do you have a market? Do you actually have a sustainable market? If you don't have a sustainable market, like you've alluded to, most likely you're not going to be able to raise the fund, right? Because nobody will be able to trust you to give you the money in the first place. So finding that market, networking, like Dishen said, is some of the key things that entrepreneurs have to go through to in order for them to become successful and navigate some of the challenges ahead, and the agility that you mentioned as well. So from what you've mentioned, BET, how can BET provide that support for entrepreneurs to help them to navigate through these challenges and to build that elasticity? That, for example, something that the level of systems that is required for business success that a startup may not be able to afford at the moment, how can BET come as that business companion and provide that support? And at a high level, what exactly is BET?
I think that, fantastic question, and I think I'll start with, what is BET? BET, or the Business Enabling Toolbox, is a digital advisor that aims to support aspiring entrepreneurs, startups, and micro enterprises. And this is to assist them grow, improve, or transform their businesses. BET teaches and guides businesses on the what, why, and how of business. Everything on BET comes from an exposure, leading from global business school practice, our experience in corporate lives, and most importantly, everything we have learned as entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. We unfortunately, looking back 15, 16, 17 years ago, we didn't have the luxury of having access to this types of information. And what we wanted to do with BET was be able to have a companion, for the lack of a better word, for aspiring entrepreneurs, a go-to platform to assist them and help them overcome some of the challenges and obstacles that we faced while going through our entrepreneurial journey, and that we continue to see with other organizations that we assist in supporting. With regards to the support that BET provides, so it's it's fully responsive, so being available and accessible at any time, 24/7. It's available in over 50 different languages. It has a potential for access to market for users on the platform to further explore collaboration and synergies on a global scale. Provides free mentorship to the users on the platform. You're able to apply your learnings immediately within your organization. You're able to make much more informed decisions and understand the health of your business all real time. and should your organization, or when your organization starts growing, you're able to upskill and train all your employees using BET to ensure consistency and alignment of messaging within your organization. And as we know, as your organizations grow, this does become a bit of a challenge. And you're also, able to create clear responsibility and accountability in business. I think that's really important, and it actually fosters a lot of collaboration as opposed to working in isolation. Furthermore, because of these turbulent times, we want to do our part as to support SMEs as much as we can and reduce the failure rates as far as we can, as Yushini mentioned. We are giving away free subscriptions on our 1-year grow plans for a limited period of time. And if anyone is interested in taking up this offer, all they need to do is basically just follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and they'll be able to find out more information on how they can join the thousands of businesses who currently use the platform to assist them in growing, improving, and transforming.
Amazing. So I think that's very, very key. So can you just allude to some of the modules that BET provides and how that will support the startup businesses as well?
Yeah, so some of the modules, we looked at your main functions within an organization, and that comprises of your finance function, your HR component, or your people component, as we call it, your customer component, your strategy within your organization, the risks that your organization would face, and then the entrepreneurship module, as we call it, which looks at what the business planning or the future focus of what your organization should be getting up to move towards. So that encompasses the 6 sort of modules of what BET actually entails.
Amazing. See, guys, I think this is a really big opportunity that you need to take advantage of. You're providing it free for free for a year. Please do take advantage of it. I've been privileged to see the user interface, and from what I have seen, it is absolutely user friendly, and it's like, think of an AI business consultant helping you with your business on the go. That's how amazing it is. Please do take advantage of it. And I know that it's going to be something that would help you. So some of you may not be able to invest in a business consultant or immediately, but this digital business consultant is something that would be able to help you straight away, that it won't cost you money. And when you're interplaying with some of the professionals like your accountants and other professionals that you might interplay when building up your business, you'll be able to speak to them from a very informed perspective. So Dishen and Yushini, any last words for entrepreneurs?
Look, so we know it's a lonely journey. We understand that, entrepreneurs face obstacles on a daily basis. But if you can, maintain your grit, you can push through with the things that motivate you, understand why you are an entrepreneur, it makes the journey a little bit easier. We cannot stress the importance of networking and finding like-minded people to, just bounce ideas around with, to just make use of the tools that are available. We mentioned that BT's got some free mentorship opportunities. We really just want people to take advantage of the tool that is BT to help businesses grow, improve, and transform. We want to do our bit.
And I think it's also important that, during these times, that failure isn't a bad thing. These are opportunities to grow. Yushini mentioned, failing fast. We learn, and our motto on a daily basis that you're learning, unlearning, and you're relearning on a daily basis. And it's your ability to be agile and adapt to that environment, which is what's going to actually get you through this tough transition that we're actually going through now globally.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dishen and Yushini. Thank you for joining us today. And all to the viewers out there, I hope this has really inspired you. Please do take advantage of the free year subscription. Until the next time on The Startups. See you soon. Thank you for watching today's episode of The Startups. It is my hope that has been both inspiring and insightful. Here at The Startups, we are committed to helping you to build successful and sustainable businesses that will provide the jobs for the future. This is why we are proud of our partnership with the Business Enablement Tool. It is a digital business consultant that helps you provide the ongoing support that you need to build a successful business.
We're also committed to helping you to raise the capital that you need to actually take the first step to start your business. And that is why we are proud of our partnership with Transit Loan and the government-backed startup loan to help you to raise up to £25,000 in startup capital. For more information on this, please see the description below. To stay connected with us, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Please also hit the notification icon, the bell, so that you can always get notified once a new startup show comes out. Till next time, see you next week.